Hello everyone, this is week 2 of my video on how to catch more Dungeness crab guaranteed, and we are about a month away, maybe three and a half weeks away from crab season. The sun is out, it's warm, and I'm ready to go. So last week we talked about bait. This week we're going to quickly talk about gear and how to set it up and how to rig it so you're crabbing safely and you're also catching crab at the same time. Now, the different pots I see out there, you got the cheap Walmart pots that are really worthless. In this sort of tide, when you go from a -3 to a +12, you're going to have the pot start to roll in the current. And once the pot start to roll, you're not even crabbing anymore. You're not going to catch any crab. It's not going to happen. So what we do is we make sure that the pots are weighted, and you can see my weight also is a zinc, but in essence that's about a 6-pound weight right there, and that anchors the pots on the bottom. So when I get ready to use this one, which I generally don't use, but this is my spare, I'll zip tie in a brick or a little piece of concrete just to keep it grounded. But these are pretty heavy. Now, the two different types of pots you should be using are either your steel pots or your stainless steel pots. And the advantages and disadvantages, the advantages of the steel pot is that they're probably $100 cheaper, but they're also twice as heavy, and they're only going to last 5-10 years out here in the salt water. This pot here is over 20 years old, and you would never even know it's that old. It doesn't have any corrosion on it. It sits out in the salt water. I spray it off sometimes, but you don't really need to. So it would be my suggestion is to spend an extra $100 if you're serious about crabbing, and get yourself a stainless steel pot and put some weights in it, and you're never going to go wrong. So one of the more important things I want to stress this week is how to set up your bait box. And you're going to find a lot of times people will put the bait like right in the middle, but I only have 2 entry points. I have it here and here. And what that does is you're putting the bait in the middle, is you're not letting the crab come all the way in. They may kind of get halfway in and think things are a little off and go. So what I do is I zip tie. You can use whatever ties you want to use. Tie it onto the top lid, and then you put your bait in your bucket, of course, and you screw it in, and then you close it. As you can see, that is floating in the middle of the pot. So what that means out here is when the tide's coming out and the water is flowing this way, you're getting that scent coming through. When it changes and the water starts going this way, you're getting the scent. You're getting 360-degree scent all the time rolling out of this bait box. It generally is not going to get covered with sand or weeds or so forth. It's going to stay pretty clean. So you're gonna catch more crab quickly, and the crab have to come all the way in and make a 90-degree turn to get to the scent. So you're not enticing them just to kind of come in halfway. You're actually forcing them all the way in the pot to investigate the smell. And this one is much the same. You see it's kind of hanging in the air, but this pot is a little different because it has 4 different intake areas, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you kind of have to put it in the middle, and it's a big enough pot where the crab kind of have to come all the way in if they really want to get invested in the bait you have for them. So those are the 2 ways, or the 2 different types of crab pots. But there's only one way to rig your bait, and you want it floating. In other words, you want it off the ground. You want those smells to be coming whichever way the pot is orientated in the ground, and whatever way you know, whatever way there's seaweed or such. So, okay, so the next thing I want to talk about in rigging is lowering your pot to the bottom, and the two different ways that I found to do it, and the disadvantages of one and the advantages of the other. So what I find mostly out there is you're going to have your 4-point connection, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you lower it down. And what this kind of guarantees in your brain is that I got the pot where I want it, I got it orientated correctly, no worries. And that's fine, and this will work. But when it comes to pulling these things up and not falling over the side of the boat or hurting your back, there's a better way. And here's the better way. And I'm going to demonstrate this on my picnic table. Is I have one single attach point on the top of the pot. It can't be on the bottom of the pot. It has to be on the top of the pot. And generally speaking, you put it opposite of the lid opening. Okay, so I'm going to walk these over and I'm going to demonstrate the two different ways that this happens, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So we got to pretend we're out in a boat here. Okay, so I'm out in the boat. There's 2-foot chop. Things are a little sketchy, but I got to get my crab pots in. It's Sunday morning. My pot's down in the ground. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling this up. It's heavy. And you notice now I have this huge contraption that's sticking 3 foot out off the gunnel of the boat. And I'm leaning over with all my body weight to pull up this huge pancake that I've pulled up. Okay? So it's awkward, it's hard on your back, and it's not really necessary. This is a very difficult way to pull a crab pot up. It comes up just flat like that, and it's usually full of seaweed and hopefully crab, and it's just like your 30 pounds turns into 60 pounds. Okay, so we're going to put that over to the side. I'm going to go get my little stainless steel pot. Let me close it up here. So here we are. I'm going to drop it off the boat, and you're going to remember this is the rope is on the top end. I'm going to drop it off. It's going to hit the bottom, and it's going to go down. There is no way this pot is going to land on the other side. You're going to lower it down. You're going to drop it. So let's say it's full of crab. It's 2-foot waves, a little dangerous. You're a little spooky. You're going to pull it up. So now you're pulling it up. Of course, I'm doing this with one hand, but I'm pulling it up. Well, look at its orientation now. It's right next to the boat. I can pull it up high. I can grab it here. I'm not leaning over the boat. The crab pot's practically falling into the boat as I tilt it up. And as a secondary feature, as I'm lifting it up that way, because remember the string's on the opposite side of the gate, all the crab have fallen to the bottom. So I can literally leave it in the up position, undo my thing, and all the crab are right here, just waiting to be processed. So, one single attach point. Lean over, drop it down, it's going to drop, and it's going to fall right. When you're ready, just tilt it up, pull it up, comes right up into the boat. So that's the way the professionals do it. And that's the way you should do it for your own safety. And I think you'll find that you'll catch lots of crab. So next week we're going to talk about what type of line to use, how to tie it to the crab pot, and maybe some buoy markers and what you should do. So anyway, thank you for watching, and subscribe if you like the videos. I'll do one next Friday or Saturday. Thank you.